The morning arrives quietly, as if ashamed of what it must reveal. Tokyo lies flattened and gray, its streets stitched together with ash and broken tile. The air smells of wet wood, cold iron, and something faintly sweet, burned rice left too long in a pot. Women move through the ruins in careful lines, heads lowered, sleeves patched and repatched, sandals whispering against dust. They have been taught not to look. Looking invites trouble. Looking invites shame. Then the boots come. Not marching boots, walking boots. Heavy, deliberate, confident. The sound travels ahead of the men like a warning bell. A woman tightens her grip on a cloth-wrapped bundle. Another presses her lips together, tasting fear and old propaganda. Monsters, they were told, devils with foreign eyes. But when she looks, just once, she freezes. The soldier is taller than any man she has known. His uniform is clean. His face is young. He is chewing gum. And nothing happens. Her heart pounds, not with terror, but with a question she has never been allowed to ask. They had prepared themselves for humiliation the way one prepares for winter by imagining the worst and tightening inward. The train that carries them south is overcrowded, its wooden benches splintered and warm with the bodies of women who do not speak. Windows are cracked, smeared with soot, framing a countryside stripped bare. Fields lie fallow, villages reduced to skeletal outlines. Smoke still curls from places that no longer have names. Inside the carriage, propaganda travels faster than the wheels. "Heard they mark you," one woman whispers, her breath sour with hunger. "They don't let you keep your hair?" says another, fingers instinctively rising to her scalp. Aiko stares at her hands instead. They are thin, veins like blue threads beneath paper skin. She remembers the radio voice, low, certain, describing American soldiers as beasts who eat too much and feel nothing. The train lurches. Someone retches quietly into a cloth. As the distance grows, dread settles heavier than any luggage. No one imagines kindness. They only imagine surviving it. The camp does not look like a camp. That is the first fracture in expectation. No barbed chaos. No shouting. Just wide open space, canvas tents aligned with unsettling precision, and men moving without hurry. American soldiers stand in the sun as if they belong to it, sleeves rolled, skin unafraid of light. Their laughter arrives softly, almost embarrassed by the ruins around them. Aiko feels her knees weaken. One soldier approaches, hands visible, palms open. He says something she does not understand, but his voice is calm, almost gentle. He points, not at her body, not at her face, but at a crate. Inside bread, white bread. Thick slices, soft enough to leave fingerprints. Someone gasps. Another woman begins to cry without sound. Then the soap appears, heavy, white, wrapped in paper that smells faintly of flowers. Aiko holds it like a fragile animal. Her hands tremble. This was not in the warnings. She realizes with sudden terror that nothing is happening the way it was supposed to. The days begin to blur, but the details sharpen. Meals arrive with a regularity that feels unreal. Bowls filled to the rim, meat she cannot name, powdered milk that coats her tongue with unfamiliar richness. Aiko eats slowly, waiting for someone to shout, to strike her hands away. No one does. The Americans sit nearby, talking among themselves, voices low, relaxed, as if food has never been scarce in their lives. She watches them when they are not looking. Their boots are polished. Their shirts smell of soap and sun. One soldier hums while washing his mess tin, a sound so ordinary it feels obscene amid the ruins. At night, guilt creeps in. Aiko writes in her diary by borrowed candlelight. "Why am I full when mother is not?" She folds the page carefully, as if hiding the question might make it smaller. Kindness, she learns, does not arrive loudly. It arrives quietly and leaves her sleepless. The true battle begins inside her. Letters arrive days late, sometimes weeks, thin paper, ink faded by tears or rain. From home, ration lines, sickness, neighbors disappearing into silence. Aiko reads each word carefully, then folds the letter until it is small enough to hide in her palm. The contrast is unbearable. Here, order. There, collapse. She watches the soldiers more closely now. One offers a cigarette to an old man with a bow instead of a command. Another helps a child lift a fallen bicycle, smiling awkwardly, as if unsure he is allowed to be kind. These moments feel like betrayal of the lessons she was taught, of the fear she carried so faithfully. At night, she whispers with the other women. "If they are monsters," someone murmurs, "why do they look tired like us?" Aiko has no answer. The propaganda does not shatter all at once. It erodes. The announcement comes without drama. A list read aloud. Names spoken carefully, as if they are fragile objects. Aiko hears her own and feels nothing at first, no relief, no joy. Only a hollow widening in her chest, like a room emptied too suddenly. Return arrangements, transportation dates, life moving forward again. That night, the camp feels different. The sounds linger longer, the scrape of cutlery, the low murmur of English she still does not understand, but now recognizes by rhythm. A soldier stands near the fence, staring toward the dark hills. He looks young in a way that finally makes sense. Not powerful, not monstrous, just human, far from home. Aiko opens her diary for the last time. Her handwriting wavers. They did not break us, she writes. They did not touch us. They fed us. The words feel dangerous. She pauses, then continues. I was taught to fear their cruelty. I was not taught how to survive their kindness. On the morning of departure, she washes her hands with the last of the soap. The scent, flowers and something clean, clings to her skin. She knows it will fade, but the memory will not. Around her, women stand straighter than when they arrived. Still thin, still wounded, but changed in ways no uniform can undo. As they board the transport, Aiko looks back once. The soldier who handed her bread raises his hand, not in command, not in farewell ceremony, but in something smaller, almost shy. She bows instinctively. He bows back, clumsy and sincere. The world does not make sense anymore, and that, she realizes, is the beginning. Years later, she will struggle to explain it, to her children, to herself. How the enemy's boots sounded heavier than expected. How their voices were softer. How truth arrived not with violence, but with bread, soap, and silence. The greatest shock was not occupation. It was learning that humanity had survived the war, even when everything else had burned.